Okay, good morning. Today we will discuss about basics of Python. Already we have learned last time what is Python and high-level language such as Java, C++, PHP, Ruby, and so on. It is a machine language which helps us to work in the machine learning and very complex, very troublesome. And the actual hardware inside CPU does not understand any of this high-level language. Now, today we'll discuss about the Python basics, which is how is the syntax, what it looks like, what are the constants of and variables, how could we do the variable naming conventions, and main variable name, reserved words, which is keywords, which means we cannot be assigned as a variable, and then we'll see about different syntaxes. Now let's start from the interface. We'll focus on today I'm working in the notepad, which means Jupyter-notebook, or we can create Python from terminal. Look at this. Here what I'm going to work on, simply write as the Python. Until it opens, simply the variable naming must start with a letter as usual. I think you have the idea in either programming language, or you can use underscore for naming purpose. It is case sensitive. Capital letter and small letter have a difference in the naming, but we cannot start with numbering, and we cannot start with @ or we cannot start with here it is minus and so on. The other one, you cannot use reserved words, which means keywords such as different reserved words. There are some of end, as, assert, break, class, continue, different, and so on. Because these keywords we are going to use for different purposes in the library of Python. This is also common in another programming language. What's compiler? It's a computer program that transfers source code, which is written in any programming language, into another computer language, which is converted from the human language to the machine understanding language. So there has to be a compiler. Whereas interpreter reads the source code of the program line by line and passes the source code and interprets the instructions, which is again understandable by the computer or the machine. Here in the case of Python, there is no compiler. Directly it uses the interpreter, which means it can be programmed or reads the source code line by line. It's not totally the file compiles. Here it is simply it is interpreter. There are different type of errors. Syntax error. If there is a grammar or rules of Python are violated, that's we call it syntax error. The other one, logic error, which is wrong variable name, making a mistake in a Boolean expression or indentions. These are the logical error. Whereas the semantic error, it occurs when the description of the steps is taken by syntactically perfect, but the program does not do what was intended to do for that purpose. In that case, we call it as semantic error. And the other one, you can to work on the Python, you can install Python in different formats. There are different frameworks which you can use it for the compile and the interpretation or working or writing the Python program. In this training session, I'm working on the Jupyter-notebook, but as in the previous section, as I have said, you can use different, for example, PyTorch or the Eclipse. In that Eclipse you can install it, PyDev or Anaconda. In that Anaconda you can have it different frameworks, of course including the Jupyter-notebook also there, or you can use the script. So after install it, already I'm ready by installing this framework, I mean Jupyter-notebook, and also I have it the oops, I'm working. Yes, this script using terminal. Simply what I'm going to do, Python. Oops, sorry. Python, and then enter. Listen, here it is. That's simple. Already it's ready to interpret what I'm going to write in this terminal. I'm using a Python 3.76 version. It is also, there is Anaconda at the back, and then the copyright is also, or license, more information, you can use this one. But simply after that you can start to work on the Python interface. Parallelly, I'm working on this terminal and the Jupyter. Look at this one. Here it is. What will be the result? 3 times in bracket, as usual, this body mass of the mathematics, and 7 plus 2, it's 9. 9 times 3, it becomes 27. Simply I make it enter. Yes, of course. So now it is the Python prompts with this sign, the 3 greater than sign, which means now starting to read any scripts, which is Python scripts. Or if you want to use in the Linux, you can create a file whose format is .py Python, but in the case of Python the format is different format. In that case, what I'm going to do is, let me open new terminal, and I want to be changing to the roots file, and okay, let me put it the paths already in the home app, and then let me create a file, new file. What I'm going to write, nano, and then let me give it simple test Python. Test Python, or Python dot, what you call it, py, and enter. Now I have it, new file. I have new file. So in that case, if you have the idea about the bash scripts, and you can have it, this environmental file at the top, to make it feasible for the file. Look at this one. Let me do like this. Look, hash, and this one, and then user, and that's binary, then environment, then Python. The environment is looks the Python, and enter. So what I'm going to do, for example, x is equals to 23, and y is equals to 23, and z is equals to x plus y, and then print z. Then there will be the output. So this one I have to be save it, sorry, I have to make it save this, and that runnable this test. So what I will do, this change mode, change mode, which means it has to be executable file. Change mode minus r and 7 full, let me give it full privilege, and then test Python. Now it has to be, yes, it is executable. At the beginning it was not executable, so it is execute. Oh, there is an error, no such file body environment, so the path is not correct for me. So what I will do, at the top, let me open it, and then I can make it, this one is comment. Let me check what will happen then. Like so, there is no job, print z, syntax error, near unexpected z, and so on. What's the problem? That, let me start here, it is, let me check it here. What's called, x is equals to 23, y is equals to 23, then simply, and then z equals to x plus y. Then when I put it d, it's simply the sum, or print z. and then the value of the print will be up. So some error happens there. Let me check it. What is the problem there? Okay, okay, so what I'm going to do, let me, the path is not correct, so this one cd, let me pass to the root file. Some wrong. Nano python.py, and then there again, otherwise what we are going to do, we have to find that the path is correct or not, the bin file, and then the environment is Python. Am I right? Is that right? I think Python. And then let me do, for example, import numpy as np, and simply let me do like this numpy. I will